Do you hate your job? Have you been daydreaming on your dreaded commute about some place that you would rather be living and working? Well, I'm here to tell you, you need to sack up, quit your daydreaming, and actually move abroad. Just a quick disclaimer, guys. Sorry it's noisy. This is the only place I could record while I'm waiting for the bus. Take everything I say in this video with a grain of salt. I mean, I've just moved to Australia. It's been less than a week, so yeah. That being said, also make sure that wherever you're moving, that you have some sort of plan. My plan has always been to get out here to work a job where I can actually establish an extended visa. And then at the same time, I've had a goal while being in Australia to make sure that I post a video every week for the next year. So just make sure that you have something besides traveling that you're focused on when you move abroad, or else I feel like you can oftentimes feel very lost and alone when you're out here. Also, one more side note, please make sure that you have at least a decent amount of savings, more than you think you would before you move abroad. I had 6 months of my expenses saved up before I came here, a little over actually, but. And with that said, let's get back to the normal video. If you're watching this video, you've probably been using excuses like, I don't have enough money saved up. What if I don't like the country that I moved to? What if I can't find work in the country that I moved to? And a big one, at least for me too, is like, what if the people that I work with and the people that I know judge me for quitting my job and moving abroad? I know this is what you're thinking because it's exactly what I thought for the past year while I was working at my job fresh out of school, and then the entire time I was going through school and paying my way through college as well. So a little background about me. Personally, for me, I've always dreamed of living somewhere tropical and somewhere out of the US. I was always terrified that I wouldn't be able to make it out on my own in a different country by myself, that I might not end up liking the country that I moved to, that I wouldn't be able to get a job in that country that I moved to, and most importantly, that the people that I have in my life back home would judge me a lot for moving abroad. And this could be, for me, this was like my family, the people that I worked with, and then just the people that knew me from home as well. If moving and working in a different country has been something that you've always wanted to do, here are the reasons why you actually need to do this. So the first main thing, and something that's pretty obvious, or something that I've always thought about, is that you're never getting younger and it's never going to be easier. So I'm 24 now, and I can't imagine trying to do this at 30, 35, or with kids. And to be honest, I can't speak to anyone that wants to live abroad that has a family or has more commitments than I do now, because that's just not my place, that's not my experience. But yeah, to be blunt, you're never going to be younger, and it's never going to be easier. At the end of the day, the fact remains that there's never enough time to do everything that we want. So if this is something that's important to you, stop putting it off and actually start making it happen. The second reason you need to do this and go live abroad is that there's a certain emotional tax that comes from living a life that's not authentic to you. And I can speak to this having worked at my corporate job after graduating school. It wasn't a bad job, it was a good job, but I just knew that that job would never actually lead to me being able to live abroad and to work in a different country. So I could never feel fully invested in what I was doing. And now that I'm here in Australia, sure, it's uncomfortable, and sure, it's scary as hell, to be honest, sometimes. But at the same time, there's a certain energy and enthusiasm that comes with kind of having your back against the wall and really going for it and actually choosing to live abroad. Number 3 is people may judge you, and they will judge you for going and dropping everything to live abroad, but at the end of the day, in 2 weeks, everyone's going to forget that you even exist at your old job and in your hometown. The fourth reason I think you need to live abroad is it's not going to cost you as much as you think. Completely in total to get my visa, the flights, everything as far as like hotels and like traveling all the way out to Cairns, which is where we are now and which is where I plan on staying for the next 6 months. It cost about $2,000 US. And now that I'm here and like in place, It's about $25 a night to stay in a hostel. And then I've been spending about $30 a day in food, but this could be a lot cheaper. I've only been eating like prepared food and nothing that I've actually made in the kitchen in the hostel, which you could do. I've just been waiting on getting a room in a shared house before I start cooking food, but if you were to cook food in the hostel, I'm sure you could bring that cost of food down to $20, maybe even $15 a day if you were really trying. And then I've been spending maybe another $15 a day just on random knickknacks, and then like of course like going out and doing some activities and stuff too. So all in all, baseline cost of living out here has been for me about $70 a day, but I expect that to go down a lot more as I get settled in out here in Cairns, and then also once I have an actual room that I'm renting and I'm actually able to make my own food. $50 to $70 a day really is so doable, guys. Like if you were to save up just $5,000 on top of the $2,000 that it costs to relocate and actually get to the country that you're going to, at least I mean Australia specifically in this case, you would have 100 days in which you didn't have to do anything at all. You wouldn't have to get a job, you wouldn't have to like, you could live pretty cushy for 100 days doing absolutely nothing, which is actually pretty crazy when you think about it. But yeah guys, that's gonna be it for me on this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Look at this view though, so sick.